Hey YouTubers, Barry here. Long time no speak. It's been at least over 2 years, I believe, since I filmed a Homebrew Wednesday for you. And a month or so ago, Andrew Cooper inspired me to cam up. I'm using my cell phone with a nifty tripod extension and my old light from my DSLR, which I actually don't use that much nowadays because I usually take pictures of my kids with my phone. But I just felt I'd cam up and catch you up on what I've been up to, just like he did. So right now, in terms of beer, this is one of my 2 summer beers. I'm not sure if the color is coming off perfectly on camera, but it's a pretty nice straw color beer. What it is I decided instead of my usual dry hopped summer saisons, I'd get into the Kvike hype train and get on the Kvike hype train and brew 2 beers from one mash and just hop them differently and use different Kvike strains. So what I did was did my typical saison grain bill, which is Belgian Pilsner malt, a little white wheat, tiny bit of Vienna for some extra breadiness, and then I split that into my 2 kettles, and one was hopped with Galaxy and Nelson Sauvin, and then fermented with the Omega Yeast Labs Hornindal strain, and the other one, which I'm drinking now, was hopped with Citra, Cashmere, and Azaka, and then fermented with the Voss Kvike strain. Now I didn't underpitch, so I was like too nervous to kind of only take a little bit from each of the yeast packets. So I pitched a whole packet in each carboy, but I did ferment them in the low 90s. So they did ferment down to about a little under 1008, both of them, and they're tasting really good. So cheers. It's still really good. It's been on tap since for about a little over a month and a half now. It's still really nice and fruity. I was hoping that I would like the Hornindal more because I love Galaxy hops, but there's something about the melony citrusy combo that's in this beer that just is really awesome. So anyway, so now that I talked about my most recent brew, I'll catch you up. But since my last Homebrew Wednesday, my wife and I now have a second child, a son, who's 16 months old now. And so our life has been pretty busy with that. And just in terms of priorities, family always comes first, work, and then hobbies. Even though the lines get blurred with home brewing because it kind of gets intertwined in all of that. So that's another reason. And I kind of lost that spark of going out of my way to cam up. So over time, when other priorities come first, you kind of fit in the home brewing in a way that it doesn't kind of totally disturb those. And camming up and editing video, I think has kind of led to a lot of the old-time brew tubers either not posting anymore, like me and Andrew having a huge hiatus, or just posting once in a while or not at all. So I decided to finally do that. So in terms of brewing, what I've been up to, as you may remember, I moved to New Jersey almost 3 years ago, so I could be closer to family and just have a more suburban lifestyle than me and my wife were used to growing up. And so I was first involved in, or a little more actively, in the Wales Homebrew Club. I'm going to meetings. That's where Bobby from New Jersey, from Brew Hardware, is a member of it. I was starstruck and got to know him over a few months, but now I've kind of been involved in the background, but just keeping in touch with a few guys from the club, and while still dabbling and working in Brooklyn and going to Bitter and Esther's, just to kind of keep my toes dipped in enough to the homebrew scene in order to feel like I'm getting the full experience while not having as much time to go to events and meetings and stuff like that. So one of the newest addition to my homebrewing hobby is, beyond, I've kept brewing my big beers, because I felt like an obligation to do that for my baby beers, but then brewing stuff to put on tap is kind of, someone's yes, I can brew, someone's no. So the fact that I have 2 summer beers on tap instead of 1 is an accomplishment. And some of you may have seen, while I ramble on, one of my newest homebrewing journey is mead. Or my current focus of my homebrewing journey is mead. So here is a bottle of my Fig and Date Melomel. It has dry figs, dry dates. I was actually first inspired to do this mead from Kevin Clements, and then I got help from Sergio from Melovino, who was the local meadery about 20 minutes from me, and so he and Carvin Wilson, another well-known mead maker, made me this recipe, or finalized the recipe for me on the Mead Made Right podcast. I'll give a plug for that. And every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern. And so then I followed this recipe for my second mead instead of my first mead, because it seemed to be a little too daunting to use all that dried fruit and honey and really make a really awesome mead for my first mead. So for my first mead, I made a mixed berry melomel. That's with clover honey and mixed frozen berries from Costco. And it came out actually really good. Because I felt that because I had the beer process already in my head, it was easy to kind of ask for advice and then incorporate it based on my brewing knowledge, like controlling fermentation temperature, transferring from one vessel to the other, bottling in a sanitary way, and stuff like that. So that for my first mead, it came out really good, so that inspired me to make more mead. And right now I have a ginger lemon green tea mead aging. I actually just added the lemon zest before I cammed up. And then I also have a just straight blueberry melomel aging for a Brewminaries event in October, which is going to be standard, like high gravity versus session strength mead. Or beers. But I got assigned a standard strength mead, so because my blueberry melomel was easy to make and it came out great, I decided just to go for another one. And then I'm also when I transfer it to secondary, I'm going to add more berries to bring it up to 25 pounds of berries, and then also add vanilla beans at the rate of 1 bean per gallon, so it'll be 5 beans. Make it a blueberry vanilla mead, and it'll be a little bit of a time crunch. It will be really young once it gets in the bottle, but hopefully there'll be enough leftovers that I can take them home and age them and see how it ages. I do have enough more clover honey just in case I need to make more for myself, because it all runs out at the event, so it's a win-win. And last but not least, in terms of brewing adventures, or things that I've taken on since my last Homebrew Wednesdays, with the mead, as you saw in the wine bottle, I was able to cork it. So I have a floor corker now, so I can cork and cage my Belgian beers. So this is the latest version of my quad. Same recipe as it's been over the years. So now that's what I'll be doing. It was a little kind of a learning experience, how to get the corks in the bottles, get the right corks, and how to get the cages on. But it was, once I got the rhythm going, it was a pretty cool to now have that added aesthetic, because the quad has aged well even when I cap it. So that's what's going on. Not too crazy. Life is just life. I'm busy at work, busy at home with the kids and my wife. And I can't guarantee that I'll be posting often, but I did. One of the reasons I bought the tripod extension for my cell phone was so that it's just easier to do when I choose to. So if I have any exciting brew days or mead making that I want to video film, and I feel like then editing the clips after, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll make a mead video just to spice things up, or when next time I try something new when I brew my big beers, which I do plan on trying some new things, then I'll film that too. But since I couldn't commit to the SJ Pour contest, I don't have like a obligatory stream of videos to film. So hopefully I'll feel the spark and cam up again, before it's 2 years and I haven't done it. So cheers. Hope this video wasn't too rambly, and I'm looking forward to watching all of your guys' videos. Cheers. And never stop brewing.